Let me ask you something. How much money do you think you'd need to make to buy a house in the US today? Not a mansion, not a beach house in California, just a normal and average American home. Take a second and think about the number. Got it? Well, I hate to break it to you, but unless you're earning over 6 figures a year, you're probably out of luck. And in this eye-opening video, I'll show you exactly why. Because the numbers, they don't lie, but the American dream might be. In 2025, the US housing market just set a new record. According to Redfin and other real estate data, the median home price nationwide has now surpassed $420,000. And that is not in Manhattan or Beverly Hills. That is the national average. So, what happened? Why are home prices still rising when everything else seems to be falling apart? Let's break this down. You want to buy the average home, let's say $420,000. If you put down the traditional 20%, that is $84,000 up front. And congratulations, you're already losing most Americans. Because according to surveys, 63% of Americans cannot even cover $500 emergency. But let's say you somehow saved that down payment. You are left with a $336,000 mortgage. Now add property taxes, homeowners insurance, and basic maintenance. You are looking at $2,800 to $3,200 a month. And this just to live in your own home. So now the real question is, how much money do you need to earn per year to safely afford that payment? Let's talk numbers. There is a basic financial rule called the 30% rule. It says your housing costs shouldn't exceed 30% of your gross monthly income. So if your housing cost is $3,000 per month, you would need to earn $10,000 per month, which is $120,000 per year. Now, here's where it gets painful. According to the US Census Bureau, the median household income in America is only around $75,000 per year. That means the average American would be overstretching their budget by thousands just to afford the basic home. But wait, it gets worse. Even if you could somehow make that money, your debt-to-income ratio, credit score, and employment history still play major roles. Lenders have become more cautious, and while prices keep going up, wages, they are not keeping up. And let's not forget student loans, car payments, groceries, gas, and healthcare. It is not just about affording a house anymore. It is about surviving. And once survival becomes the priority, ownership becomes a luxury. So, what are people doing instead? Here's the reality. Most Americans are renting for longer. Some are moving back in with parents, others are relocating to smaller towns or leaving the country entirely, and some are giving up on owning property altogether. Meanwhile, institutional investors, hedge funds, private equity firms, and corporations are buying up homes by the thousands. They rent them out, raise the rent, and watch the profits roll in. And the average American, they compete against billion-dollar firms just to buy a 3-bedroom house in the suburbs. Is it fair? Not even close. What does this mean for you? The system wasn't built for you to win, at least not anymore. If you're not already in the market, getting in is becoming harder and harder each year. And if you're young, a first-time buyer, or earning below 6 figures, you're facing a financial wall that keeps getting taller. The American dream of ownership hasn't died, but it is definitely being outsourced. So now let's go back to the original question. How much do you need to earn to buy a home in the US in 2025? The honest answer, more than most people make, and that is the scary part. Because if something doesn't change, home ownership will become a thing of the past, a dream reserved for the wealthy.